All right, so for this first question, we're given a mix of information here. Oops, sorry. And it says we are given angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. So I'm just investigating all of this. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. So I'm even going to go over here. I'm going to mark it up. 1 and 2. There they are. One of the things we even talked about during class is you want, whenever you read one piece of information, as much as it's tempting to just like write everything you get down immediately, what can you conclude from that? What do you know if 1 and 2 are equal? What else could we figure out? Or what kind of angles are they to each other? Do we know what kind of angles they are to each other? What kind? Good, they're corresponding. So if these are corresponding, normally you would be given parallel lines and you would say, oh, then 1 and 2 are corresponding. Now I'm telling you these are equal. You know they're corresponding. That means these lines will be parallel. So from that one piece of given information, we'll be able to conclude that the lines are parallel. They're not marked up. It's not given. We need to conclude that information, okay? And then after that, we're told that angle 2 is congruent to angle 4. So we'll know that this angle here is congruent to that angle. And we eventually want to prove that 1 is congruent to 5. So we will get there. So let's start with our given. I'm just going to go with the darker color so it really shows up. And then maybe I'll even break it up, okay? So I'm not going to do my given all at once. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Let's do angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. And the reason, that is given. I know some of you guys like to use bullet points when you're doing your proofs. I think it gets a little confusing because then you're like talking about step 1 or step 2. It's easier to kind of have it labeled, numbered. So number 2, if those are congruent, we just said we can figure out then that BD is parallel to AE. Why are they parallel? Converse of corresponding angles. All right. Now, I might be a little bit lax right now when I'm grading. If you just say, oh, corresponding angles, something like maybe you didn't use the word converse, I might be able to give you, still give you credit because I know, this is still really new. So it depends on how you set up the rest of the proof. Okay. Now I'm going to go over here, and that's just because also it's the beginning and we're just learning how to do it. So I mark those lines parallel. Now, what's the next piece of given information? Maybe we want to include how angle 2 is congruent to angle 4. And that was also given to us. But always keep in mind, where are we headed? We want to prove angle 1 is equal to angle 5. 1 is equal to 2. 2 is equal to 4. We know these are parallel, so I could say 4 is equal to 5. Then we can use some substitution action, and we got that 5 is equal to 1. So what would the next step be? We said this equals this. We said that equals that. So, and we said they're parallel, so we could say angle 4. Yep. And why can we say that? Well, no, if we're using the lines being parallel, it's not converse. If you're proving the lines are parallel, it is converse. So this is just corresponding. Yeah, the corresponding angles are congruent. Blah, 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 when we have parallel lines, are congruent only when we have parallel lines, but either way is fine. And finally, last thing we could do, 1 is congruent to 2, 2 is congruent to 4, 4 is congruent to 5, so 1 is congruent to angle 5, and it's sort of by like a super transitive property, right? This to that, right? So if you want to do substitution, that's fine. Oops, why am I calling it 5? I mean 6. All right, so if you call it substitution, whatever, all good. Next problem, this one. This one was a little dicey. We had some extra details. It was a little bit more intense than the other ones. That's okay. So here, nice and slow. You want to just be careful how you set things up. So we have 156 degrees right over here. Here we have a straight line. So to get this angle right in there, you're basically doing 180 minus 156. Okay, 180 minus 156. Now, there's tricks for doing this without borrowing that I learned from like little middle schoolers that I've tutored, where if you take 1 away, when it ends in a 0, if you take 1 away from each, 180 is now 179, and 156 is now 155. Now that it ends in a 9 instead of a 0, you don't have to borrow. Fun little trick. 5 minus 9 is 4, 7 minus 5 is 2, and 1 minus 1 is 0. So that angle right here is 24 degrees in that little pocket. Now, if we add this bonus line, right? We're calling it the auxiliary line. Here's this bonus line. If we throw this guy in here and we say, all right, these are parallel, this one and this one, well, if I add another line here, I can make it parallel too. Really doesn't matter. Now, if the angle up there in that corner was 24, now there's more than one way to do this, okay? People got the answer different ways. Then that's also 24. But if that whole angle is 49, then how are we going to get the angle right up in here. What do we have to do to get that measurement? 9, take away how much? Yep, minus 24, and that'll give us 25 degrees right there. So we have our 24 degrees. I could also go in here and label that 24. Be careful where they're labeled. I know it gets a little messy. Okay, now if I want to add another auxiliary line over here, right? Throw another line. There's many, many ways you can do it. Throw another one over here. Look for these alternate interior angles here. So this 25 degree angle is right in that spot. Well, that's also 25 degrees. Here's that Z. Boom, boom, boom. These are parallel lines. Why? Because I made them. So therefore they're parallel. So that will be 25, then this is also 25. Well, if that's 25, how can I figure out the rest of that angle? Yep, 73, take away 25. So this guy right here, I know this is like electric green, I don't know how well it's going to show up, but go over here. Just so I'm showing all the work to tell like a bit of a story. 73 minus 25. Well, 73 minus 20 is 53. Minus 3 is 50, minus 2 more, 48 degrees. So this angle is 48 degrees right there. Now where is this Z shape for the alternate interior, right? If this is 48 degrees in this angle, then this is 48 degrees in there. So if that's 48 degrees, last step, how do we get X? Yep, 180, take away 48. So final thing, X equals 180 minus 40 minus 8, so that's 140 minus 8, X equals 132 degrees. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Okay? Next, this set. Based on each individual given piece of information, which lines can be proven parallel? Support Y. You got to make sure you support Y. We can do it. So, what do we have here? Angle 16. Now, these are erasable pens, so I'm going to be able to erase, when I mark things up a bit. Angle 16 equals angle 18. So, here's 16, and here's 18. Now, I did give you guys all transparency paper, and someone left theirs here. All right, I grabbed this transparency paper. Sorry, you're going to see the glare from the ring light, but angle 16 equals angle 18. So what does this transparency paper do for us? Well, it's such a busy picture. Where's angle 16? Right here, right? I'm only going to trace the lines that have anything to do with angle 16. So it's that line and that line. Oops, threw on there. Sorry. There's angle 16. And where's angle 18? Right here. And I'm told that those are equal. That's D, C, A, B. We don't even need line T right now. Now, all we do is you're going to slide whether a blank piece of paper or just put it over a blank spot. Now, our picture's less busy. It's so much easier to see. Which lines are being parallel? Well, the parallel are these two, and that's your transversal. Remember, the transversal connects from one to the other. So what lines can we say are parallel to each other? Yes. So we'll go over here. All right. So I'm going to say C is parallel to D. And again, why are these lines parallel? What kind of angles are we dealing with right here? Corresponding. And if we're proving lines parallel, we'll just call it the converse of. Again, I'm not going to be such a stickler on a quiz, but on the test at the end, we'll get better at it. Converse of corresponding angles, whatever you want to call it, okay? Squeeze that in there. So if like I said, I have erasable, so I can just go over here and erase it so it's not so busy. But next we have 9 plus 3 is 180. So here's 9, here's 3, and now they allegedly equal 180. So I'm going to take the same piece of transparency. I'm going to trace the same types of lines. So what am I dealing with? Everything around 9. What's around 9? I have this line right here. Here's 3. Here's this other line up against the angles. Well, when we look at them without the mess, that was 9, and that was 3, right? These add to give you 180. What kind of angles are we dealing with right here? They're not alternate interior. They're on the same side. Yeah, they're on the same side of the transversal. So they're actually same side and they're interior. So it's proving that these lines are parallel if these add up to 180 by a converse of consecutive interior, or like we've called it also, same side interior. So we'll go over here. We're going to say these two lines, that's the ones that we pointed out in the picture. A is parallel to B by converse of consecutive interior. Okay? Next, again, we could erase. We have angle 6 is equal to angle 1. So where's angle 1 is here. Angle 6 is up here. I could see how that would be very overwhelming for people to look at. So again, if you want it, you have this option, okay? So which lines do we care about? Well, here's angle 6. That line closes it off, and that line closes it off. And then here's this other one. That is congruent to that. That's D, C, and line T. Then we look at it with no mess. If those are equal, what kind of angles are we dealing with right now? Here's the two parallel or allegedly parallel lines. This is a transversal. Are they on the interior or the exterior of those two lines? They're on the exterior. And now are they on the same side of the transversal or are they on alternate sides of the transversal? So these are alternate exterior angles. So, and that's the thing. So that tells me that this is parallel to this. So C is parallel to D. So back over here, write that down. C parallel to D, maybe a little semicolon, converse of alternate exterior angles. Okay, next, angle 13 equals angle 5. Angle 13, angle 5. Where are we looking at those? Here's 5, here's 13. I feel like these are easier to see. What kind are these? Good, these are alternate interior. But which lines, careful we don't mix it up, which lines are parallel because of them? Good, B and A. So A is parallel to B. Angle, next, 16 and angle 12. Now, here's 12, here's 16. If I still traced over and did the move we were doing earlier, if you draw lines over the lines that are enclosing the angles, there's one, there's another, well, we only have two lines. What kind of angles are you dealing with if we're only dealing with two lines? What kind of angle is this to this? Yeah, those are just vertical angles. It's not really telling us anything about parallel lines. So, yes, you're right. As you said, not enough. Ooh, not even writing on the screen, sorry. Not enough information. Okay? Some people wrote, oh, they're vertical angles, thanks for nothing. Not, well, they didn't say that, but information. So we cannot make any conclusion about parallel lines. Last, 7 and 12. So, angle 7 I see up there. Angle 12, okay. So 7 and 12, here and here. What kind of angles are 7 and 12? If you only trace the lines, closing those off. Yep, and then what lines are parallel because of it? Yep, A is parallel to B, alternate, Z interior. Alternate interior because it looks like a Z. That's it. The first three questions of your quiz, finito. Next. Okay, this one was a little sneaky in some spots, but we can definitely handle it. You guys got this. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. Well, that's the only given, so that's more or less definitely how I'm going to be starting the proof, right? So let's even get that written. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. And again, reason is it was given. Let's mark it up in the picture. Here we go. Angle 1 and angle 2. Now, what else is given? It's not just this information, but really we are given a line, we are given a triangle, we are given parallel lines. You are given quite a lot of information here. Not everything's going to be written out. Some of it's going to be in the graph. Now, here you got some parallel lines. If I pay real close attention to these sweet little parallel lines, what can we say is congruent? Here we got that guy and that guy, parallel lines. Some of you may want to extend your lines to help see things better. So I have these two parallels. Maybe I keep my two parallel lines green. And then maybe I look for a transversal. Let's get this bright pink over here. Okay. What else can we say? Sorry, it's losing focus because it's shaking over here. Very sensitive table test. Okay. What else could we say is congruent? Yes, angle 2 and angle 5. Nice. So next, angle 2 is congruent to angle 5. If you wanted to put like something like name the line and say they're parallel, give it, you could, but I'm not even going to do that. The lines aren't even named. I don't have letters, so we're fine. So number 2, why can I say that? Yeah, alternate interior angles are congruent when dealing with parallel lines. That's dot. Okay. Now that means, so I'm just going to double line everything for impact. That is equal to that, which is equal to that. Pretty nice. But what are we trying to prove? Let's not lose track of where we're headed, right? We're trying to show angle 5 is congruent to angle 4. We're trying to show angle 5 is congruent to angle 4. Now, really, I know this is a transversal, but so is this. This is still cutting through my two parallel lines as a transversal. Does angle 4 have a relationship with any other angle in this problem? Yeah, angle 1. Angle 4 and angle 1, what about them? Yeah, they're congruent because they're corresponding angles. Yep. So number 3, I'm going to say corresponding angles are congruent. A little squeezed in there, but there it is, okay? Corresponding angles are congruent. Now, 1 is equal to 2. Now, if I just make notes for myself on the side, right? 1 is equal to 2, but 2 is equal to 5. 4 is equal to 1. Do you see like the circle of life happening over here? Like major circle of? Well, what else are we going to say is equal? And of course, that's what they want us to prove. Yay, smiley face, right? So, last thing, number 5, I just want to say 5 because I just looked at 5. Angle number 4, I'm going to say angle 5 is congruent or equal to angle 4. Why? Yeah, I'm going to say substitution. Sounds good to me. That's all it takes. Beautiful. Other options with a little substitution. Really, you could play maybe around with like 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 180, right? 3 plus 5 plus 4 is 180, right? So I'm just going to do that as a bonus option over here on a separate slip of paper. I'm not going to do it totally through, but 1 plus 2 plus, like I see, I'm not even really writing angles, is equal to 180. But so is 3 plus 4 plus 5. That equals 180. By transitive property, 1 plus 2 plus 3 has to equal then 3 plus 4 plus 5. So far, so good? Because they both equal 180, they must equal each other. 1 is equal to 2, so I have 1 plus 3 equals 3 plus 4 plus 5. Well, there's a 3 on each side, minus 3, minus 3, subtraction property of equality. 2 angle 1s, right, equal angle 4 plus angle 5. What else did we conclude? Well, we concluded 2 and 5 are congruent, right? 2 and 5 are congruent. So really, I could swap out angle 5 with angle 2. So 2 angle 1, so 2 times angle 1 equals angle 4 plus angle 2, right? Or actually, we want 4s and 5s. So let's leave u 5, right, and change u, angle 1. When did I swap that one out? Let's see, 1 plus 2, 2 is equal to 1. All right, so I could have said 2 plus 2. Sorry, I'm like thinking as I go. So 2 angle 2s, but angle 2 is really equal to angle 5. Subtraction property of equality, subtract angle 5 minus angle 5. What am I left with? An angle 5 equals an angle 4. Kind of, sorry, I did a little messy. I didn't put the angle symbol in any of these. Oh, sorry, angle. You get the gist. Angle, whatever. Okay? So that's a bonus way, but that's also fine. And that wasn't formally done. All right, here, line C is parallel to line D. Remember, you're only given that C is parallel to D. You're not given that A is parallel to B. Only these are given. These are parallel. Okay? Those are parallel lines. Sorry about the blur. C and D are parallel. Now, angle 15 plus angle 1 is 180. But even before I go, based on this, here's the alternate interior, right? I'm going to draw a little z. If those are parallel, and that's given, what angles can I mark up being equal? What's equal to angle 8, for example? Okay, because they're alternate interior. What else? Angle 12. What else? Yep. And then I could also say 7 and 5, because those are vertical. But 5 is equal to 4 and 15, alternate interior, corresponding, whichever way we want to look at it, okay? So that's good. Then I could do the same idea on the other side, right? But now I'm using a different color because on this side, I don't know that these are parallel. That equals that, which equals that, which equals that, all the same reasons. What else do we have? This equals that, and equals that. But what else was given? That when you add them equal 180. What does that mean about angle 1? It is the blank of 15. Angle 1 is the blank of angle 15. Starts with an S? Yeah, supplement. They're supplementary angles. 4 and 7 are equal. Well, these are same side interior. If they're adding up to give you 180, right? If they add up to give you 180, doesn't that tell you A is parallel to B? So, how am I going to prove this? So some of you went a little bit in the wrong order, but that's okay. Line, that's why it's a quiz and not a test. Line C is parallel to line D, okay, given. I don't know if I wrote that. The word line, I'm going to use a script L, very squashed, looking at all these vertical lines here. Sorry. So number 1, let's do line C parallel to line D. So, given. Now, 15 is equal, let's go all the way up to 7. How can I connect 15 to 7? What is 15 to angle 7? Yep, alternate exterior angles are congruent, when we're dealing with parallel lines. Okay, amazing. Now, These are consecutive interior, right? So I'm going to put down the other piece of given information. So number 3, angle 15 plus angle 1 equals 180. So number 3, that is because it was given. Number 4, if 15 equals 7, angle 7 plus angle 1 is 180. What did I do to get there? Yep, substitution. All right. Then, if those add up to 180, well, that means line A is parallel to line B. Based on, when we prove lines are parallel, we're doing converse. Converse of, what are 7 and 1? Either same side interior or consecutive interior. Either way, all good. And that's it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Last question. So this question, I'm going to do it the corrected way. So there was a typo because I can't see with my eyes. This is not x minus 6. It should be up here. Then a little at a time. People do struggle. I was definitely seeing it during the test, or the quiz rather. If this is x minus 6 over here, then what else is x minus 6? Close off the two sides that wrap around x minus 6. Highlight them, extend them. So what else equals x minus 6? The other one, the one vertical to it. So this angle right here is also x minus 6. Okay, this is the corrected way. This angle is also up there, but let's try to get them all in the triangle. If that's 2x plus 1, well, so is this, 2x plus 1. Now here's the interesting one. Here we have this one angle. How do I get the angle on the inside? Exactly, we're going to subtract it from 180. So 180 minus, here's the common error though. People just do 24 minus 4 over 3x. This needs parentheses around it. That's what is the money step right there. Now, what do you know about the sum of all the angles? Yeah, when you add all the angles of a triangle, it equals 180. So let's go over here. Let's add them all up. X minus 6 plus 2x plus 1 plus this whole thing, 180 minus parentheses, 24 minus 4x over 3 is 180. And then we're going to clean that up. What's x plus 2x? Negative x plus 1. Distribute, minus 24. Oh, I missed 180 though, right? Plus 180. Don't want to miss anybody, it's not nice. Plus 180 minus 24 plus 4x over 3, distribute, is 180. If I subtract 180 from each side, well, adios. 3x, and that guy, maybe you hate fractions, so you just leave them the way they are. But negative 5 and negative 24 is negative 27 equals 0, right? You're right. Thank you, 29. Now, if I wanted to get rid of the fractions, I'm going to multiply everybody. Everybody by how much? Yep, 3 times 3, so over there I get 9x plus, and then that's going to end up being 13x. 29 times 3, well 30 times 3 is 90. So 29 times 3 is 87 is 0, minus 87 equals 0. Add 87, divide by 13, so 13x equals 87, divide by 13, right? So x equals, now does that reduce? Maybe, but let's just leave it the way it is, because are we done? No, we want angle ABC. Now, where's angle ABC? A, B, C, so it's this angle here. What do I know about this angle's measurement? It's equal to this angle's measurement. So if I take this answer and I figure out maybe this angle, the supplement will be my final answer. So if I take this and fill it into that, 87 over 13 times 4 over 3 minus 24, whatever, go in there, then we'll work our way from there, okay? So a little detail math, 24 minus 4 over 3 times 87 over 13. That definitely reduces. 3 goes into 90 30 times, so 29. So 24 minus, now what's 29? 29 times 4. 30 times 4 is 120. So 29 times 4 is 1 4 less, so 116. So that's 116 over 113, or over 13. And then last, to get that angle, we do 180 minus this. So final answer, 180 minus 24. If I distribute, it'll become plus 116 over 13 And then we just clean up from there. So minus 20 is 160, minus 4 more is really 156 minus 116 over 13. And I would normally find a common denominator, but you could probably just leave it like this and I won't be mad because it's really annoying. Okay, and that's the end of the quiz. And honestly, I messed up anyway. I made this x minus 6. And a lot of people by mistake found everything that way because of my mistake, not because of their own, and got like negative 4, something like 492. So if you got that answer, not the end of the world.